Hello and welcome, everybody. I'm Jeff Stoltzus, that's Kevin, and this is Fantasy Foosball. Today we're talking about the New Orleans Saints, and I must admit, I am attracted to the chaos. Some men just want to watch the world burn. And I am that some men. Who's going to quarter their backs now that Drew Brees is dead? Which receivers to target as Michael Thomas convalesces from the boo-boo ankle fixies? Also, the runaway hype train that is Adam Trautman. I know it's Trautman. I just like to say it like he's a superhero.
What is it, Trautman?
Something smells fishy. Let's get weird. Last year, the Saints finished 12-4. They won the division, and my respect. But it's their division rivals, the Bucs, who won the Super Bowl, which is way better. Winning the division is for losers. Now that old man Brees ain't around anymore, management cut the fat off their old expensive roster. The Saints are under construction. Sure, they lost a lot of big names, and their draft class wasn't flashy, but they upped their Chris Hogan quotient by like 1,000.
And now it's time for a breakdown.
It's undrafted Taysom Hill versus first overall pick Jameis Winston. And honestly, they're on equal ground because the Saints didn't draft either one of them. Taysom Hill has been a do-it-all, jack-of-all-trades, cross-positional, Swiss Army knife, dual-threat offensive weapon for years. Now he's just a quarterback. Boring. The case for him to be the starter is Coach Sean Payton turned to him last season, not Winston, when Brees wasn't able to play. Also, he said some silly shit like Taysom Hill is the next Steve Young. The GM loves him. The coach loves him. They want to have like 10,000 of his babies. His arm is good, but his athleticism gives him a clear edge. He's a playmaker. His mobility opens up the playbook and helps extend drives that, in a year without Michael Thomas, they might need more than ever. Jameis Winston is a crab-leg, stealing, finger-licking lunatic. He has maturity issues, and that's coming from me. This guy. Some believe Winston is the obvious choice this season. I mean, they really do. Here's their case. He has more experience than Hill. That's true. He's led the league's top passing offense twice in his career. Counterpoint, he's also led the league in interceptions and eating finger W's. 2. Losing his starting job has humbled him. Serving as Drew Brees' backup has matured him. Might be true. I haven't seen any evidence to confirm or deny that, but it sounds like a big fat guess. Drew Brees is not a virus. Holding his clipboard doesn't infect you with maturity. 3. He's under less pressure because the Saints didn't draft him. Less pressure than succeeding Drew Brees? In New Orleans? Okay, clearly I'm not the biggest Winston fan. I question his decision-making on every level. Here's a list of Winstons I'd rather see start at QB for the Saints. Winston Duke, Winston Zedmore, Winston Cigarettes, Winston Churchill's corpse. Dig it up! Now, some of you might be thinking, even if Taysom Hill gets the job, it's only a matter of time before Jameis takes it. Like when Ryan Tannehill sat behind Marcus Mariota. That would be a mistake. This is not the case here. Tannehill was stuck with bad coaches on an inept-run Dolphins squad. Most notably, Mr. Googly Eyes himself, Coach Adam Gase. There was evidence to support the theory that everyone who escaped his grasp showed better than they did with him. That wasn't the case with Jameis Winston in Tampa Bay. He played himself out of town. Unless you think Bruce Arians is a bad coach. I mean, it's possible. He hasn't won a Super Bowl in like 6 months. Ian Book. Please tell me it's Ian and not Ian. Ian Book was drafted in the 4th round. He's the winningest QB in Notre Dame football history, and he's going to develop into the next Drew Brees, right? Right? If you just watch his highlights, he is impressive. He's very athletic, like a young Taysom Hill. However, watching the whole game will show you a number of questionable decisions his athleticism rescued him from. That won't happen in the NFL. Make your reads, hit your man, or they will catch you. I'd be shocked if Book develops into a starter. Best case, he's Trace McSorley. We're not talking about Trevor Siemian. I'm not taking a QB on this team. You can make the case for either starting. In my opinion, they want Taysom Hill to win this job. Jameis Winston is merely the backup plan. And even if the reverse is true, I think they're both placeholders until this team drafts someone. And no, that someone was not Ian Book. 2021 is going to be a struggle for this team. Anyone else? I told you, we're not talking about Trevor Siemian. Go on, get out of here. Get out of here, Trevor Siemian. Get. Not much has changed with the running backs this year, but change is definitely on the horizon. Alvin Kamara is still a league winner. Last year, if you ran into him in week 15 when he scored 6 TDs, 6, my hiney still hurts, Kamara. Kamara! This should be another big year for Kamara. Even if Taysom Hill wins the QB battle and vultures some goal line touchdowns, Kamara is bound for another high-volume year. He's only 26 years old. There's no young threat lurking in the background to threaten his workload. Latavius Murray has been a worthwhile handcuff, maybe the most valuable handcuff in the league. He's on the wrong side of 30. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get a little more action this year. I think it's going to be a good year for Murray, and considering his age, he's primed to be a good sell late in the year to desperate but contending dynasty teams. Take whatever you can get. In redraft, he's going about the 10th round. He's likely your backup or bye-week fill-in, so not a horrible price to pay. Some believe he could even get traded this year. I don't know about that now. It would have to be some mid-season shenanigans to a team with no depth at the position that got on a run. What'd I say? Ty Montgomery was re-signed this offseason. 'Member him? He wasn't around much last year, but don't write him off. He's third on the depth chart and unlikely to see a ton of action this year, but there are a few scenarios in which he could. Consider this. The obvious, a Kamara injury. Murray would be next man up, but Montgomery profiles with different skills, pass catching skills, so conceivably he'd mix in with good value for PPR leagues. Murray gets traded. Montgomery slides up the depth chart and becomes a valuable handcuff to Kamara. Or, with a thin wide receiver core, shifty coach Sean Payton designs play schemes that involve Montgomery, who started his career at receiver. But do I actually think any of this is likely? No. Even my last point is dubious at best, and I'll get to why later. Dwayne Washington is about the same age and profile as Ty Montgomery, but a very different skill set. He's better for special teams. I do like his metrics, but he's never done much on the field, which is the place where you want to do stuff. Toby Jones is an undrafted free agent from last year. He is unremarkable. Stevie Scott is an undrafted free agent from this year. He's hard to bring down. He's got good vision, and he's a decent receiver. His problem is he's slow. Lava is impressive. Can Stevie Scott outrun Lava? Oh my God, that would be an awesome addition to the combine. Kevin, get Espen on the phone. I have ideas. Anyway, Stevie Scott is not fantasy relevant. So Kamara's pizza. Hot or cold, he's still good. Murray gets the nod for late value and depth. Montgomery goes on the watch list. Today is not sponsored by hands. Everyone has them, but what do you do with them? Pockets? Hell no. High fives? Not today, Satan. Consider the artistry of weird shit with fruit. Like whatever this is. Or that. The fuck is that guy doing? Or this. Jesus, lady, that is unnervingly suggestive. Why did this come up when I typed in fruit? Is he... Oh, there it is. Put those hands to work. With weird shit with fruit. There's a lot to unpack here with the wide receivers. There really is. Last year, Michael Thomas had a very serious ankle injury. He needed to have surgery. Immediate surgery. Like Dak did. But Thomas wasn't hearing it. He tried to rehab his way out of it. As I understand it, this is not something you can heal from or rehab your way out of. You need surgery. Which now, he has. But in delaying it, in attempting to come back to the field last year, he may have damaged it further. His choice, for whatever reason, puts the 2021 season in the trash. He's currently on the PUP, where he'll remain until at least week 7, and I'm not optimistic even after he returns. But it's worse than that. If he did do further damage, the potential is he might never be the same player again. So let's talk about the 3 possible scenarios for Michael Thomas, this year and beyond. 1. Everything goes right. He returns in week 8 and is back to form. Hooray! 2. He returns in week 8 or soon after. He's still not quite right. 2021 is a lost year. 3. He returns, but he's never the same player again. Approaching 30, the Saints recognize this and draft a player to replace him next year. I'm strapping on my cynical lederhosen. Considering his age, choices, and quarterback situation, I'm out on Michael Thomas as a fantasy asset for this year and beyond. He'll get back on the field sooner or later, but what is his fantasy value moving forward? With Michael Thomas down, Tre'Quan Smith is the top receiver on the team now. But is he any good? Yeah, he is. He's tall, he's fast. Kinda reminds me of Marvin Jones. His fantasy production has never been sexy, but he's always had potential. We still need to see how he handles the top coverage rolling to him without Thomas on the field. But I remain optimistic on Smith. Smith's ADP is What? Kevin, when was this updated? Who are people taking in front of him? Cole Beasley? Gabriel Davis? Someone call the police, because Tre'Quan Smith in the 16th is stone cold larceny. Marquez Callaway. He's an undrafted free agent from last year. Caught the coach's eye and earned some playing time. He didn't look bad. He's trending a bit due to Thomas's status. Has the size and measurables you'd want from a receiver. He can get open. He can make the catch. The concerns I have for Callaway are yards after catch. I didn't see any on tape, so I went hunting for stats. 2.6 yards average. Small sample size, I admit, but reflects what I saw on tape. He makes the catch, and that's about it. To me, this caps his fantasy potential, unless he just lives in the end zone all year. Deonte Harris is an undrafted free agent from 2019. He's Dominican. Sorry, I read that wrong. Diminutive at just 5'6". He's fast. His metrics don't show it, but he's football fast. And he's got great shifty moves. They like to use him on sweeps, screens, and special teams. Unlike Callaway, Harris has the ability to get a lot of extra yards. With the ball in his hands, he reminds me of Cohen. Remember before when I said Ty Montgomery probably won't see manufactured plays just for him? It's because of this guy. I give those plays to Harris. You know when being 5'6" and $170 doesn't matter? When you're making people look stupid because they can't catch you. I really like Harris, but I do have concerns. Just because he's electric doesn't mean points are coming. If he's strictly used as a gadget player, his ceiling is capped. And 2, Harris got a DUI this summer. There's some kind of suspension coming. Don't drink and drive, kids. Juwan Johnson is an undrafted free agent from last year. I wouldn't say he's fast, but he doesn't need to be. He's 6'4". He could offer a red zone threat that the other receivers can't. I'm on the fence about how talented he is and how it translates at the NFL level, but he's definitely worth watching. Lil'Jordan Humphrey is a super cool name. I actually considered naming both my daughters that. He's not quick, but he's tall. I don't feel like he offers more than Juwan Johnson, though. I really don't want to talk about Chris Hogan. I just don't want to talk about him. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but looking at his profile pic just makes me tired. Okay, fine. Chris Hogan is a room temperature glass of milk. But he does profile as the starting slot receiver. Is that valuable here? Yeah, probably. I like other receivers better, but none of them profile as the slot receiver. That role looks like it's Hogan's. And if that's the case, he has value. Disgusting value. Forget where Kawaan Baker was drafted. His metrics look good. His college tape looks good. There's nothing firmly entrenched in front of him. Not a strong argument, but all I can think of is, why not Kawaan Baker? I think it's going to be Tre'Quan with deep balls, Hogan in the middle in the slot, with Callaway also in the middle playing possession receiver, and some designated sweeps and screens built in for Harris, who will also return kicks. No one is a must-have here. Take them as they fall. Tre'Quan Smith and Chris Hogan. Likely there's a suspension for Deonte Harris, but if it's not too much and you need some depth, I like Harris. Add Juwan Johnson and Kawaan Baker to the watch list. Either one could rise in camp or early this year, and both have potential for value beyond this year. Adam Trautman was already a popular name coming into the year, drafted at the back end of the third last year, but the Saints moved up to get him. We didn't see a lot of him last year as he played behind Jared Cook, but Jared Cook is gone now. The Adam Trautman plan is in effect. And once the Thomas news broke, everybody lost their mind with Trautman hype. He's 24 years old, 6'5". He profiles like Dallas Goedert. Sure-handed, fast. The problem with most pass-catching tight ends transitioning to the NFL is their blocking. So how did he do last year? Best run-blocking tight end in all of football. I like him. I really do. He has a decent chance to make the third-year leap in his sophomore year, but realistically, where should your expectations be? I could see low double digits with regularity this season, putting him close to where Logan Thomas and Robert Tonyan finished last year. He's currently listed as the number 20 tight end with an ADP down near the 14th. An absolute steal, especially considering the guys in front of him that I'm fading. Maybe the hype is more about value. Nick Vannett has always been a solid tight end number 2. He might catch a few balls here or there, maybe even a touchdown, but no real value in fantasy football. Trautman's a guy you want. He's got a lot of upside, but he's no sleeper. Expectations are growing and chances are good everybody's going to know his name soon. Cameron Jordan is still a force, but he's getting older and his IDP production is on the decline. Marcus Davenport hasn't quite panned out yet. I'm not out just yet. It could be he's taking a long time to develop. Payton Turner is an impressive rookie taken in the first this year. He could just as easily take Davenport's lunch as he could Jordan's. Demario Davis is a solid linebacker. I'm excited to see what Zack Baun brings this year. He didn't get a ton of play in his rookie season. Werner is a second-round draft pick from this year. People are high on him, and I see why. You do not want to meet this guy on the field. Malcolm Jenkins is still solid at the position. He finished just inside the top 20 at DBs last year. Chauncey Gardner-Smith, or CJ Gardner-Smith as the announcers call him. I have no idea what's going on there. A nickel safety or something weird. Whatever, he's good. He's smart, he's aggressive. I like watching him fly all over the field. I'll take Gardner-Johnson, Davis, and Jenkins on my team. The rest are all on the watch list. I have to wait and see how this plays out. So that's the Saints. Thank you so much for watching Fantasy Foosball, and we will catch you next time. Peace!
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boy.
Sugar on top, sugar on top now. Say what?
Alexa, order adult-sized diapers.